And we're live. Hello, crafters. This is Raquel with Paints and Glitter. I welcome you to my channel, and I think I'm live. I'm gonna double check here and see. And yes, I am. 24 seconds in. Okay, so I'm trying to find my own video to see if I can follow along with the chat. I'm hoping that this comes up. And if you could bear with me if you are watching. I don't see that I don't see my own video, so I'm trying to figure this out. Um, hmm, what is going on? Where's my video? I may have to go back and forth here for a second. Okay, this is interesting. Where am I? Where am I in the world? I see two people. Hello, Beverly and Tanya. I'm actually standing on a step stool because I can't see my own video. So give me 1 second. This is insane. I looked up my own channel. Here we go. Yay, I made it to my own video. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, so welcome everyone, whoever chimes in. I want to welcome Tanya and Beverly for being here right off the bat, ladies. Thank you so much. You must have gotten a notification before I did. So I just wanted to come along here and hello, Veronique. Bonsoir. Hello, Rose. Oh, good timing on my part here. Okay, so I'm here with a little haul. I just got back from shopping today and I stopped at a few stores and I have a collective little bit of items here that I've gotten also online. None of the coveted items, of course, that I tend to get from the big companies. However, I wanted to come along and share what I do have here and maybe do I don't know, a little bit of crafting. We'll see where this video takes me. But I just came back from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, if you're familiar with their pricing and tags and all that, I hit up one of their sales and I was at Tuesday morning, which sadly, while my husband and I were there, we were told by an employee that today they announced they're closing. And I just heard from somebody in Ohio saying the same thing. So I'm wondering if it's all of the stores. I don't know if you guys have heard of this or not. Hello, Rose. Welcome. So Rose and Veronique. Here in the United States, Tuesday morning is a store that everybody loves because they sell a lot of crafty items. For instance, I got this there today, and this is from Spectrum Noir, and they had it on sale. So according to, the store, which I don't think that they're being deceitful when they put the prices on there, but apparently these are Aquablend pencils that would sell for $29.95 retail. So they had them for $16.99 plus another 10% off because they're closing. So that's the kind of price you can get at Tuesday morning. So I went ahead and picked up these Aquablend. These are watercolor pencils, by the way. And I've not used them, obviously, because I just picked them up. But they come like this. And I wanted to take a peek to see how good are they. Are they worth it? And because they have some, they have some other series. Like they had a landscape one. So that one had more greens and browns in it and that sort of thing. And I see that it doesn't have a rainbow of colors here. But I find it interesting that they have kind of like a fuchsia pink over on this end. And then the barrels are all blue. So I don't know. You guys can chime in. Let me know if you own these or not. But we'll take a peek and see how those work. Then I also got at Tuesday morning, and pardon my hands, I didn't get to finish my manicure today. They had these Sizzix Wait, was this from, yes, the Sizzix 3D impressions. They had these for, here in New York anyway, a little over $5, $5.49. And I went ahead and took advantage of these. Let me know if you're familiar with the 3D impression folders from Sizzix, because I think they're phenomenal. These are priced at $12.99 retail. So I got, by the way, this one is called Mark Making, which I told my husband I have to make him a card using this one because that's his name, Mark. Then, hello, Mari. Welcome. And then I got this one, which is called Abstract Flowers. This one's stunning. So if you guys want to see samples, I can show you. And then this one by Catherine Breen is called Holly. So that'll be great for Christmas cards. Then they had, what else did I get? Okay, so everything else is going to be from Hobby Lobby. So this is, I guess this is all I got at Tuesday morning, really? Yep, that's it. That's all I got there. These, really quickly, I wanted to share. I just got in from AliExpress, and if you see the zippers, they're all pastels. I've been doing some organizing in my room, and I don't know, let me zoom out a second. I don't think you guys can see these too well. Or maybe you can. Let me see here. Let me zoom out 1 second here a little bit. Sorry guys, I don't mean to make anyone dizzy. Okay, so these, as you can tell, are kind of letter size envelopes, and they're really sturdy. I don't want to rip them or anything, but they come with the little zipper tops, as you can see. However, these have a mesh that's kind of like a nylon or I don't know what it's made out of, but it's almost like a plasticky, but you can feel the mesh in these. And I recently had gotten some from Amazon, and instead of having this pastel palette of zippers, they had brighter colors like this. So that's the only real difference. Oh, and then all of these were black. So here was the Amazon version of the pink, and I'll compare the two. This one's super light, and then this one was brighter. But I got these because I was comparing them, and that's what the title is, Are They Worth It? I was comparing items online from, for instance, AliExpress. We all know that's kind of like bottom prices, and now there's another app out there that's called Temu or Timu. I don't even know how to say that, but they've got very similar items. And then we all know if you shop on Amazon, they have pretty much the same thing, only they mark it up in price. But the reason I wanted to try these out is because you see how you can fit large die sets that normally might not fit elsewhere, or odd shapes and that sort of thing. But I was comparing the nylon or the packaging to the packaging from Tonic Studios that you can get. You can buy these individually in different sizes from them. And as you can see here, let me compare the little string here, right? This portion here is not terribly different. You know, they have the same little plastic thing there. The zipper, I would say, is comparable. The difference, however, is the plastic here, and this has a reinforcement, whereas these don't. In case you're wondering, you know, because the price is quite different. And then on the inside, this is entirely covered, so you can't feel that mesh. Yes, the big ones, these with the bright pink, and it came in rainbow colors. I have them full of scrap papers and that sort of thing, so that's why I don't want to pick them all up, because I have them in my room in different places. But these came from Amazon. This one's from Tonic Studios, as I just mentioned, and yes, I do have the same size as the, you know, the letter size. And it fits a lot, by the way. And then these were the ones from AliExpress. The pricing for the AliExpress ones, and it came 5 of these, was just under $10. Whereas I got, I think it was 15 of these. 1, 2. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think now. I might have to update it later. But I got many more. I can't remember the number exactly. I should have written that down. From Amazon for $15. So it worked out to be like, I think $1 a piece from Amazon, whereas through AliExpress it was like $1.25, something like that. Hello, Susie. But they're well worth it if you have to store a lot of crafty items. For instance, here, if you see, I was trying to just get all of my white cardstock or off-white cardstock in one bag where I could just, you know, take out a piece and stamp on it or write a sentiment or whatever and have it, you know, instead of in a drawer, which is what I had, I wanted them all in one place. And then I tried to make them also kind of little pieces that I could quickly stamp on. I just put it in this little, you know, little plastic container here right on my desk, because I'm trying to get organized so that way my bits of paper aren't all over the place. I find that to be the most challenging thing, is to organize the papers that are left over from crafting. And I figured I should share what I'm trying to do here, you know, in case it comes in handy for anyone else. If you're visual like me, then I will be more likely to remember the color of the zipper, believe it or not, than anything else. And I'll associate that color with the item that I'm looking for, because I'm just very visual like that. And so I'm trying to implement those kinds of things in my room when I go to organize, so that way I can create like a chart and say in pink zone or whatever, I have A, B, and C. And I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to put this back real quick. Now, one thing I wanted to point out really quickly is that no, you cannot pick the colors. You're either going to get a bunch, you know, in rainbow order pastel like this from Ali or that other app, or you're going to get the bright colors, but you don't get to say like, oh, I only want pink or I only want blue. I wish that was the case. If anyone has a different experience, feel free to leave me a comment, because I love sharing that sort of thing. And I'm sorry for the angle. I'm just noticing the angle of my camera. Oh my gosh. But you know what? This is an impromptu video. I didn't really have time to prepare too much. Now, I also went to a resale store, and I was able to find some really awesome adhesive that, you know, good for tacking down. This is kind of like painter's tape, but it's similar to that blue tape from scrapbook.com and that sort of thing for die cutting. And I also found another roll. Here it is. If you can believe this, look at the size of this thing. Double-sided adhesive, guys. So, this one, let me think here. I'm going to be, you know, I'll talk about this in another video, but don't be surprised if you see me listing some of these for sale. Just a heads up, okay, guys? And you can always private message me if that's something that interests you, okay? So, enough of that. Don't want to bore you guys. So I'm just going to set these aside. And the other thing that I found was Hobby Lobby. So Hobby Lobby is getting rid of a lot of things. I know they got rid of all the Sizzix dies. I missed out. But they're also discontinuing a lot of other items. So if you have time this week to hit up your local Hobby Lobby, you may want to do that. I'm not saying they're discontinuing these items. I'm just letting you know, if you go through an aisle, and this was just said to me today by an employee, if you see the letter D on the little tag behind, you know how they hang these all up, right? And they have a little sticker in the back against the wall. If you see a letter D there, that means that's deleted from their inventory. They won't be carrying it again. and they don't have any plans at the moment to put any Tim Holtz items on sale, but don't be surprised if that all goes away as well, you know. But from there, they were marking down these craft tools. This, for instance, was 69 cents, which the original price isn't all that high to begin with, but the only thing that I found on sale from Tim Holtz was one ink pad. But they had, if you like embossing powders, they had a lot of those marked down on clearance. Now, of course, that may vary by store, but generally speaking, one Hobby Lobby follows the next because they are a chain. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things there. They had some tissue paper on sale. And I happen to be doing some painting that's not part of this YouTube channel, although I may share it once it's all done. So I went ahead and picked up one of these palettes because I tend to just grab a paper plate or whatever, but I thought that was a good buy. But in any case, this type of thing, which most of us end up going to the dollar store or getting them on sale. So they had a few of them on clearance for 37 cents. And I like that. So I thought it was appropriate for something that I'm going to be mailing anyway. And so those were a good purchase. But again, you know, a lot of the embossing powders were being clearanced out. These happen to be the tinsel type from Ranger. Okay, and the reason I wanted to mention that is because I just said that the Tim Holtz items were not on sale. However, they had some very particular things, and I don't know if it was because they had like a Valentine's sale or something like that. But for instance, the pink ink was the only one on clearance. This is just paint, so I'm not going to talk about that. And then in their jewelry section, they had a lot of jewelry charms on sale, just to let you guys know. And then Paper Studio, they had a lot of the colored envelopes on sale on clearance. I just happened to pick this up because this is how I like to use these. I obviously love, you know, just having envelopes ready made. But if you pick up items like these, even if the card maybe isn't something that you would use, for instance, you see the border there? I wouldn't necessarily want to give someone a card that looks like that, but you can die cut these. And so that's how I intend on using these, is for die cut pieces, and then the envelopes for the actual finished card. These happen to be 5.5 by 4.25, and they did have different sizes. I just did not see this particular metallic color in a different size. But yeah, I want to try out those pencils. So I'm going to do some stamping and see what happens. I'm just going to set this aside a second. If you guys are doing any of the annual card drives, I know that Barely Art does it, scrapbook.com does it, and I don't know if there's any other companies doing that right now, come to think of it. But if you do, let me know. I'd love to know. Let me see here. If you guys participate in that sort of thing. And I also got some jewelry wire because I intend on using this with an actual die. So I'll update you on that. And before I forget, the double-sided tape, right, that I just showed you guys. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I just don't want to forget to mention. So if I bring these back to sell, I'll post it, of course, on Instagram and here. But I just want to share with you, for instance, I colored this paper myself here. I just inked it up, and then I stenciled onto it as well. I applied that double-sided adhesive, and then I ran it through my die cutting machine. And look, now I have double-sided, I'm sorry, sticky tabs here that I can use. This is going to be for a book that I will be working on. But it didn't cut through the lining of the tape, but it cut through 110 pound cardstock just fine. And it's got full-on adhesive as if I had used one of those Xyron machines, which I also have. But I just wanted to let y'all know, if that's something that interests you, especially for something as intricate as these itty-bitty little die cuts, for instance, that look like a little paper clip. I wanted to see, would that work? Would it, you know, is it gonna actually stick? And of course, I have to be very ginger with, you know, this sort of thing, because this is 110-pound cardstock. But if I use 65-pound, it would pull away super easy, you know, because even this is pulling away just fine. I'm just being careful with it. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Now these are the little stamps, and I know a lot of you have seen these. These are from Hampton Art, great company. Clearanced out at $2.49, but if you are not familiar with stamping, which I think a lot of you are, these are worth it. I think they are worth it from Hobby Lobby, because even though they're not the super thick photopolymer, they still stamp really cute. So having said that, let me go ahead and grab a little snippet here of watercolor paper and try these out. And okay, so I just happen to have this folded over, and this measures 4 by 4. So let's try it out and pretend we're doing a 4x4 card. And I'm going to put this here, and I apologize for the glare, guys, but I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, Wednesday. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, right? So I don't know if anyone else does anything regarding that, but if you did, I hope it was fun. Even if it's just buying some chocolate, or if you went today when the chocolate's at a better price, then even better, right? So let's see here. I don't know, did I describe these at all? I don't think I did. I've been talking about everything except for the cute stuff. So these are by Tracy Hay. There's little robots, little dinosaurs. This is a squirrel, and I think that's a squirrel. I mean, you could color it to not be a squirrel if you wanted to, like, because it's got the little fluffy tail. I think you could make that into a raccoon depending on how you color it in. And then there's the little turtles and alligator and the little fish. And it's the little sentiments that really got me, because they're all really cute. So for some reason I want to do the this kooky looking thing here. I think it's an alien. And he's got little hearts that are little ears that are hearts, I guess. So let's just try that and see what those pencils are like. I'm gonna kind of be side by side there. And I've got quiet people in the chat today, but feel free to chime in if you'd like to. Let me know if you do watercoloring at all, or if you're intimidated by it. I'm going to stamp these with VersaFine ink. And this is just a fun way to discover new product, of course. And this is kind of line rendering, drawing, if you will, which is very appealing to me. I love drawings that are like that. They're not perfect circles and that sort of thing. I think that's a lot of fun. So if you don't already know this, VersaFine ink is wonderful for watercoloring and also for detail work. So it should be really fun for this type of set. Do your CPR, right? Okay. Let me know if the connection is okay on your end, if you guys are seeing me well or not. In the past, I've had my videos do a little bit of stuttering, and I have not found out about it until after the fact, sadly. So if you guys can hear me well and the image is clear and all that good stuff, please let me know. I would truly appreciate it. Okay, so as you can tell there, the good thing is with a platform, you can re-ink if it just so happens that your image didn't stamp fully. And I didn't clean these. Typically, you do want to clean a stamp before you even start, but I'm just playing around today. Let's see what happens. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Mari. I appreciate it. I always want everybody to feel like they're hanging out in my house when I do a video. Like we're just hanging out. We're just, you know, friends. Friends hanging out in my living room or whatever. Okay, so it looks like I need to remove maybe the magnet, even though I'm terrified to do so because I don't want this to shift. But sometimes the magnets get in the way of these platforms, you know. And by the way, if you have one of these, I should say if you don't have one, it's worth getting one regardless of whatever brand you get. There we go. I think that's good enough. All right. So I'm just going to heat this up real quick and set this aside for a moment. And this is just going to be super fast. Okay, now let me zoom in so you guys can see. I have to step on my step ladder here. Let me make sure that you guys can see this without the glare though. So let me put another piece of paper behind here. Okay, there we are. I want to make sure that you guys can see. Okay. And thank you for the thumbs up. And I'm sorry if I took too long, guys. All right, so let's play around with some color here. And I can even test it out on this background paper if need be. But he's supposed to be a little green alien, so why not? Let's go ahead and play with some green color here and see what this is like. Now again, this is meant to be a watercolor pencil. I want to see how intense I can get it before I add water, and how soft it is or how smooth it is on the paper. Let's see. I think he's cute. He's got some I love the expressions on them. I think it's the little eyes that really make them look darling. Okay. All right, so that's easy enough. And I'm just going to continue on his little body, the same color, and then I'll add a little bit more, and at the end I'll add the water, and we'll see how it blends. Now, of course, watercolor pencils you want to use on watercolor paper, which is what I have here. So don't be surprised if you have a different result if you just opted for regular paper, which I would not recommend ever, because if you do, you may pull the paper away once you add the water, and you don't want to, you know, go through the trouble and then have that result. Oh, these have names. Good, good, good. I'm just noticing here. I didn't even think of that. That was parakeet green, and then this is bright green. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer that on top. And kind of in different places here. And I'm going under here, under his little head where I think a shadow would be. Because if you're coloring up a circle, if you don't know this already, you kind of want to give it a shadow on the edges or the perimeter to make it look more round. But because his little head is on top of the body, then I want to make sure that that shadow lands right underneath it. And same with his little legs. Okay, and I am going to go with one more little color here to give more shadow. Thank you, Mari. This is jungle green, so now it's really going to get interesting here. I'm just going to do this on, because of this, the way this is drawn, there's like a little bit there that it didn't have any color on. Just going to add that there. A little bit under those, his little belly there on his legs. And then right down here as well. It looks almost like it's his little neck. And then right around his little head over here. Same on this side. And then maybe right under his mouth. Just a tiny bit. Now, the one thing that I'm going to say is that they don't blend the same as a regular pencil, color pencil, but I think the idea is that you're going to blend it with water anyway. So I'm going to make sure my brush is nice and wet, and this is just a water brush, nothing else in it but water. And I'm going to start blending this out, and it should be very fun and therapeutic. I think that's the idea. And of course you can push color around with water. So if you go around in little circles, you're going to get one texture. If you do, you know, just straight up lines, you'll get another. But it shouldn't be terribly difficult. So here, this other secondary color is going to start blending, of course, right under the mouth. I'm going to go back over here because I missed a spot. And then I'm going to go down to his little neckline here. So if you see, the water pulled a tiny bit there, but I can kind of pull it so that there aren't too many stark lines. And I'm just going to start coloring from one end here to the next. And that way I drag that dark kind of bluish green from the right over to the left. But there's really no wrong way of doing this. I think he's cute. Okay. All right, so there's that little bit. And here's the result. Hopefully you guys can see that. I have to stand on a step stool. Here we go. All right. So there's that. I don't think it's awful. I like the texture also. And I'm going to add, of course, some red here to those little hearts and pink. So let's start with the pink, and this is called Coral. Just a little bit of that. Same here. And that's just a touch of it. And then I'm going to go in with, this one's called Cherry. And the other thing with this watercolor kind of medium, if you will, is that you don't have to fill the whole thing in if you don't want to. Need a piece of paper towel here. So if you really just want to do a tiny little drop of color or a wash, you can do that too. But I think this is going to be a fun set. And for the price, I mean, you really can't beat it. It's really not that expensive. So see here, for instance, I don't have to color it and keep it inside of the lines necessarily. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to give them some little cheeks here. I'm going to try anyway. So I am going to pick it up actually from the pencil, because that's another thing I can do. Just wet the pencil directly and then go back in there. Give them the little cheeks. So that way he's kind of blushing. Or it could be a she, because you could put a little bow on top, right? Once you're all set. All right, I love that. Because I'm gonna use the same color here so as to not make this video too long, I'm just gonna go in with the same exact colors here for this little critter, coral and cherry. So adorable. And this way I don't have to clean my pencil again. I can just go in, use that. Dun, dun, dun. And then this little guy, I can actually color in with different colors. We can go in with some blues here. Let's see what these look like. I think I want to use this purple. This is Hyacinth. I like that name. So I'm going to go in with that color first. And then on his little face as well. I'm going to start moving a little bit faster now. But again, the texture is going to depend on how you lay that color down. So you do whatever you're comfortable with. And then I'm going to go down here. And of course, if you weren't doing watercolor, then you can just stamp these right onto pattern paper and cut them out and get yourself some really fun results that way too. I just wanted to share, since I went ahead and picked up these pencils, no better way to review it than to do a video and show how they're working. This is called Crocus. So this is going to be a darker kind of purpley color. And I am kind of taking a cue from the very stamped design that's, you know, on the packaging. Why not? Make it easier. But here I'm just going to add this darker color on the outside edge there. I forgot his little legs. So, I guess I'll do it this color too. Again with a darker one just on the edge here and right underneath. And I'm going to try to use, this is called Opal, yep, Opal Blue and Regal Blue. So let's try those. I'm going to use those on here. I hope you guys can still see me. Hello, Regina! Doing a little coloring today, just reviewing some pencils I got at a local store. Local to me being half an hour away, of course. Almost. All right. So the perils of living in the outskirts of towns. So you have to drive quite a bit. Okay, so I'm adding. Now, one thing I wanted to know is, even though I know I'm going to blend these, because I want it to pop out when I'm done coloring and all that, I'm going to add all of my dark color to one side of the image as if the light's coming from this way, but you do it however you like. That's how I colored in the little robot anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with water. I did wipe off the brush so that I wouldn't contaminate it with the other colors. And I'm going to start coloring from the right where I have the darkest color and move on to the left. I feel like I should have some soft, soothing music on, but I can't because I'll get copyright strikes on my videos. Okay, going from that direction again, moving to where it's lighter. And these little brushes are a game changer. They make life so much easier. And then again over here. Super cute. Still have that dark color going on there, so now I can kind of brush it up to blend it out a little more if I need to. I'm going to clean that off and then add a little more water from the top there to blend it out. And now I'm just going to go right into that blue area, even though I still have a tiny bit of ink on that brush. And the same here. Keeping it nice and bright. And then whatever's left, I'm just going to go here on what looks to be like his little hands. I can pick up a tiny bit more there and go back. Okay. Yes, definitely relative. So on here, I forgot his little boots. So I want to make sure that I make them nice and vibrant. And you know what? We're going to go ahead. I'm curious as to how this is going to look. And this says petunia, and it looks like a fuchsia. So let's try that with rose. So I'm going to start with that color. And you can tell I'm just doing up and down. But like I said before, you do whichever texture you like. And then with this color, the darker one's rose, or it should be anyway. A little more vibrant. I'm just going to go around the edges here. And then down at the bottom. Okay. Now, if you have a bigger image, by the way, and I'm sure you guys probably know this, but you can get bigger brushes. You don't have to use a small one. I just knew that all of these little, you know, bits and pieces were going to be tiny. So that's why I went ahead and picked my smallest brush here. And if you don't have a water brush, then just simply use whichever brush you have and dip it in water. That's it. And I know that goes without saying, but there are people who will rewatch this video, and so that's why I mentioned little details like that, just in case. All right, so there's those nice pink boots. So there's that. I think they're adorable. Now, I have to say, there's other stuff here that I wish I had stamped before I even started, but you know, I get ahead of myself. There are, however, these little stars here, and I think we should have fun with that because I showed you guys at the beginning of this video that I got some embossing powders that are tinsel embossing powders. So I am going to go ahead and do that. Let's do it. Okay. What I will do first, of course, is get out my Versamark ink. I just happen to have a small cube, but I just always refill it. So let's set these aside for 1 second. I'm going to grab a tiny little cube, because I really don't need a large one for this. And of course I could do the platform, but whatever. Let's just do this. I'm just going to add the stamps onto here. But before I begin, because I want this to be sticky for the powder, then of course I want to add cornstarch, or you know, the powder onto this. I forget what it's called. It's called a stamp buddy, I think. So now I'm just going to wipe this down a little bit here. And that's just, you know, like I said, it's just cornstarch in that little bag. You can find those just about anywhere. Mine, I think, is about 50 years old. And let's use some of this Ranger Tinsel Embossing Powder. And I need to open it. Okay. I'm not too delicate with these things, but shh, don't tell anyone. Okay, there we go. All right. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so gorgeous. I don't know why they were getting rid of it, but we'll find out, I guess. And what I can do here is just go ahead and stamp these here and there. Kind of want to do it on the perimeter of the card. And I know that these are stars, but they could potentially be floating in space. Nothing says that these guys are necessarily, you know, on Earth or something. Whatever. Okay, I can realize you guys cannot see that, but let's do the powder. And again, another wonderful reason to get all of your little scrap papers organized. Boom. Now I have a landing place for this powder. And I'm just going to let this drop on to my image and see where it lands. Ooh la la. I'm digging this already. Okay. And then tap, tap, tap. The excess is going to fall off, you see? Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm going to go ahead and let it fall right back in there. And now let's apply some heat. And this one, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the whole perimeter of that, for some reason, also got some of that glitter on there. So let's see how that works out. Okay, I need to get this nice and hot because I can tell it's blowing it off the paper. So I'm going to wait a second for that. All right. Hopefully that works. Woohoo! Sorry about the noise, guys, but I'm giving this, I don't know. I'm giving this a C- grade. And I'll tell you why. I can tell that that's not going to stay. So my question is, am I supposed to do this multiple times? Huh. I'm curious, curious, curious. It says here, embossing it, ink pad, yeah. It doesn't say to do anything special. So I'm not too thrilled with the fact that it looks like it's all going to come off. Like when I touch it, it's flaking all over the place. So, is it worth it? I don't know. I'm thinking heat it from the bottom. Okay, let's do that. But you know what I want to do? I want to try it on the entire image. Remember how we stamped it in the beginning on the platform? Let's give this a try. You know, and of course I am, what do you call that? Taking the risk of messing it up. But I haven't moved my stamps. So technically speaking, I should be able to stamp right over that, right? And because we're not really adding color, we're only adding shine, Let's see how that works. I'm gonna try it again, only this time, well, yeah, I'll try it again with a Versa. That way I don't add more black to that. And this should be nice and juicy. Yeah, it's tacky. Having said that, I just contaminated my Versamark with black ink because I didn't clean the stamp. Learn from me what not to do. You should always, always, always clean your stamps. Oh well. All right. Let's try that. And we're gonna follow Regina's suggestion. I think I'm off kilter over here, guys. Sorry. Let's see what happens. Trying to get that nice and sticky. Sticky. Right? Let's remove it from here. Get our background paper here for a second. And let's do some more powder. And of course I didn't do the whole powdery thing, but I had already done it. So it should be fine. Ooh. If it worked perfectly, oh my word, it would be super duper cool. Okay, let's see how that works out. And of course you can take a little paintbrush if you want to, a thin one, which I put mine away, of course, and now I don't know where they are. Or a little, you know, pick like that or whatever, and take away the little pieces that you don't want. A paintbrush is 100 times better, but like one of these will do. So that way you don't end up with the glitter on every single part of that image. But again, try not to take it too seriously because we're just playing with the materials to see if we like them. Are they worth it? Is the mess worth it? Is it worth having glitter on every surface of your household? We shall find out. Or should you save your money and get something neater? Let's see here. I like that. I like your theory, Regina. Adds character. If you like the experimentation, please give a thumbs up to this video. Because at least you know the mess didn't happen in your household. It happened in mine. So I'm doing what Regina suggested. Trying to see if I can melt this from the back. I think it's going to work. Let's see here. We'll see. Oh, it's burning. It's burning. It started burning. Let's see now. You know what? So I think you guys can see the difference there. Let me get close to this. And yeah, you guys can see it, right? You see how there's now a light sheen on there? So of course the background was first black, and so you're seeing some of that, but had I stamped the initial image in clear Versamark, who knows? But on this little edge here, it came off. And that's probably because of the way that I stamped it. I'm not going to blame the product. But now I can kind of brush off a little bit of this, but let's face it, there's going to be glitter going on around here for days. But it's a fun little card, and now what I can do is, of course, because I can use the pencils to color the rest of it here, I can do the background. For instance, I mentioned that they don't necessarily have to be you know, like on Earth or whatever, right? So you can do whatever color you want for the background. This looks like brown, and I don't want to do brown on this though. This is kind of like a purpley color. Make sure I'm in frame. So I am going to take advantage of this color and give these little guys sort of a planetary adventure here. And I'm going to give them a little bit of a shadow here and there. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a lighter color. I should have read the name of that, but let's go with Hyacinth again. I think that's what I had used on that one little alien. And this one I'm just going to be really gentle with. All right, let's do the water again, only this time I want to add a broader brush here. Let's see if this works. I appreciate you guys humoring me, but if you notice, I left a little gap between the image that was stamped and what I started coloring, and that's because you can push color with a watercolor brush. So that's another little added benefit there. So you see how you can go ahead and create little mounds just by pushing the ink. This brush is not the best, but I'll make do with it anyway. I want to make sure I get in between that little legs there, little feet. There we go. And so on and so forth. And of course, this can be double matted and all the rest of it, so that way it actually looks more cohesive in color. But I can go back and add more. You just want to be careful not to add too much while the paper is wet. That is one thing I can advise. I mean, you're going to get some texture in there, but this is alien life after all. But I should wait until it's completely dry. And of course, I can go back in with regular color pencils. I can go back in and mask them and then do an entire background. There's this whole other stamp that I would love to see behind them, but I do have to mask them out first. However, there's, oh, I guess I'm missing a little stamp here. I didn't realize that fell off. There's the little stars here. I guess he was missing a stamp. There's the little planet, which we can do way in the background. So let's go ahead and do that in black and just color it in. So that way it does look like they're in outer space. How fun. And these would be great, like if you have little kids in your life and you need to keep them entertained for a little while, stamp a few of these out and go ahead and let them have at it, right? I'm gonna set this back. And I'm gonna go in with, let's see if I can do this color. Now normally, you know, you want to be careful with that ink, but I'm just going to drop some, this is nice and intense. This is called pineapple. Yum, love pineapple. Gonna add that in there. And top it off with a little bit of dandelion. See if I can blend that out nicely. Give that like a little glow around it if you want. Woo! I have glitter all over the place. but it's fun. And then I'm just gonna swoosh it around with my little pen here that I have been cleaning off with a paper towel, by the way, every time I color, so that I don't contaminate the colors. Hopefully you guys can see that. Boom, boom, boom. They don't have a sun, but they have a Saturn-ish little planet there. Super cute. And then they do have sentiments. This, by the way, says, out of this world. It starts with a UR. Says, on another planet. Hip, hip, hooray. And this one says, excited about your existence, which is what drew me to this stamp. I think that's super cool. So let's go ahead and stamp that down here. Or actually, I'll stamp it on a separate piece of paper and just stick it down there. That way it really shows, because I want to do it black on white. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a block. And it's got the most tiny little letters, but I think they can be effective. Let's move this aside for a second. I hope I've been in frame, guys. Sometimes need a reminder. Okay. Oh yeah, super clear. So I would definitely say that that's worth it. And setting these aside so I can clean them. I'm just going to cut this down to a very skinny little strip, because that's all we need anyway. Like so. This one. And I can flag it or make it a little diagonal, of course. Right? It doesn't have to be straight. So let's do that. Like so. And that can just go right on top. And it's going to take a little bit of a dusting. But I want to put this on top of another piece of paper. I happen to have this metallic paper here, and I think that's going to work. So I'm just going to use, I'm just going to use this little piece of scrap, and I'm going to cut it first and then glue it. Voila! It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And my glue is over here. Now, I know this has been just, you know, a hodgepodge of things. But let's face it, sometimes you have to craft just for the fun of it, not because of the expectation that you're setting on yourself. That's something I hope I can always convey on this channel, is that it can be very therapeutic to just get out whatever materials you have, even if you have no idea what they're going to do. Have a little fun with them. It's fun to have, you know, all the cool gadgets and all that stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But is it totally necessary? Oopsie. Not always. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I've shared on this channel before. I started crafting on my dining room table with a shoebox from the dollar store, those little clear ones, which I still have around here. And that was enough back then. So I remember being so intimidated by, you know, other crafters going, oh my gosh, they have this and they have that, you know, and little by little you start accumulating, of course. But I would say the biggest ticket item back then that I ever got was a Cricut machine, and that's because I won it. But I think so long as the, you know, the intention is to show somebody love by what you're making, it doesn't really matter how you got there, or you know, what items you ended up using or omitting. Now I'm going to just quickly just trying to get rid of some of that tinsel or whatever they call it. Okay, so if I could have a conversation with Mr. Tim Holtz or whomever came up with this from Ranger, I would say, eh. Is it worth spending $1.24? Not really, honestly. I mean, it's fun and all that, but it's a lot of hassle and a lot of mess just for that tiny bit of glimmer. I would be happier just having actual glitter with some glaze, and that way I know it's going to stay on the card. But nonetheless, it's a fun little card to make. Oh, thank you, Regina. Yeah, hodgepodge all you. Oh, hi, Bonnie. So sorry, I'm just noticing you're here. Thank you for joining us. So the title, of course, of the video is it worth it? Are they worth it? Is it worth getting certain supplies in your stash? I would say cutesy stuff like this goes over really well, regardless of the recipient. I've never, you know, had anyone kind of smirk at a card. People who do that, by the way, I mean, that's on them, in my personal opinion. If you receive a card and you have a, you know, weird look on your face, that tells me you have a problem. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. However, I did promise I was going to show you guys these, so let me go ahead and do one of them. Because I think these are worth it, especially like if I was going to mention, if you're going to do cards in series or do a bunch all at one time, this would be very well worth it, especially, for instance, go ahead and grab an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and stamp all of your little scenes at once you decide how you're going to do them. Do all of your coloring with the same pencil, and then do all of the water with the same pencil. The way that I did it here, which I was all doing the same motion, that whole up and down, it'll be more therapeutic that way than skipping back and forth, because then you won't get your colors muddied. So that's another little tip I could give you. Like if you're going to make a bunch, that would be the way to go about it. I think these drawings are absolutely adorable. I can't wait to do the little turtles. The sayings, by the way, it says, you're going to hear me roar. I love you just the way you roar. So punny, if you like puns, this is right up your alley then. It says, I'm a dinosaur, so roar and all that. I hadn't noticed that one. I love that. Okay, extraordinary, not weird, limited edition. And then it says, your dynamite roarsome cutiesaurus. I mean, come on now. Super, super cute. And then this one says, of all the creatures in the sea, I'm so glad you swam to me. I think that's adorable, especially for kind of like a new baby or something like that. This says, turtly, in love, awesome, amazing, terrific, snappy birthday, you crock my world, you're the best, it's official. Then this one here says, sleepyhead, nuts about you, make a wish, allergic to mornings. And then over here it says, if life gives you nuts, be a nutcracker. Then this one says, yep, I got me some nuts. And this says, scatter kindness and yawn. Oh, Lord have mercy. I hadn't even read half of these. What, Bunny? What, Bunny? What? Oh, gosh. Anyway, I think I read these, but just in case I didn't. It says, out of this world, on another planet, you are hip, hip, hooray, and excited about your existence, which is the one we use here. Bonnie, you don't make cards? Are you serious? That's okay. Don't worry about it. You're still welcome here, Bonnie. I'm still going to be nice to you. I am going to take 110 pound cardstock, because I'm actually going to cut this off of here. And let's see here. Let's do a bigger piece. Because I want to show you guys how that embosses. And I think it's super duper cool. Actually, I have this paper, and I don't quite know what kind of paper it is, so I do apologize. It's almost like poster paper, but I have papers that I've gotten, you know, at resale shops and that sort of thing, so I don't always know what kind of paper I use. But it's fun to just, like I said, just to play around and discover. So I'm going to run this through. I'm Spanish, so I have trouble with that word. Excuse me, 1 second. Oh, I was stabbing my foot with a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to run this through my machine, if I can. No, that's not going to work. So let's go with my manual machine. I just remembered my Anna Griffin's not going to play with that. Let's do this one. So I've got my other machine here. Let's do this one. Just having to move things out of the way. Got too much stuff. Okay. Gotta take the little slip cover off. Now she's not dressed no more. So let's do this, which requires different plates, but that's okay because I have them right here. So the 3D plates, for some reason, because they're Sizzix, they don't play well with my Empress, and I don't know why that is, but that's just how it is. And I think this is the plate. I'm not quite sure. I should ask the manufacturer which plate I'm supposed to use on here. Okay, so let's give this a try. This is the embossing plate with my platinum. I'm gonna see if this will go through, and I'm sorry if I shake the camera. Nope, that's not gonna work either. You live and you learn. Let's see if this will work. This is just the regular plate. Ooh, mamma mia, that's not working either. Okay, let's create a shim. Okay, so Regina, you have what kind of machine? Oh, look at this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I guess I did a shim in the past and I just wrote 3D emboss. So there we go. I had one. I forgot I even had done that. So I guess my little piece of cardboard is the way that I decided I was going to do 3D embossing. Okay. Works for me. Easy peasy. All right. Sorry for the loud noises, guys. But this is going to go here and out the way. Okay. Now, back to this. I have extra hearts. I didn't even know that was there. All right. Let's see what this looks like. Ooh. Okay. So, it's a little crooked, but that's okay because I can cut it down. And what I'm going to do now is grab some ink. And because these little guys are green and purple, that I'm going to kind of incorporate that to this background. So I'm first going to use some pistachio, cracked pistachio. Let's use this. So that way I can be really messy. Ooh, that's getting kind of dry. I think it's time to re-ink my Mr. Pistachio. And I have a fiber there. What is that? Okay. And I got a little too much ink on that one little part there, but that's okay. I like it. I like it a lot. So this is going to be kind of like the Morse code that the aliens are sending out into space. Because I have no idea what this design is supposed to look like. but I like it anyway. They're saying nanu nanu. Nanu nanu. Thumbs up if you understand the reference. Okay. And let's do the bottom half of this. Ooh, kind of sticky. In this color, which I seem to have left on that. Oh, yeah, it was already had color on that. Now again, I don't know what kind of paper this is. It could very well be photo paper and I don't even know it. But let's just go with it. You may want to do it on watercolor paper, just like the little drawing and all that. Or just some nice cardstock. This is shiny, which leads me to believe that it very well could be watercolor paper. Okay. Now, some people might get twisted about that whole, you know, the gradient there of how it mixes together. I don't, you know, I don't particularly get worried too much about that, because at the end of the day, this is likely going to end up in the hands of a small child. Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to shake that. Okay, I'm going to cut this down. Oh, it's a little crooked. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. I think that's straight. I'm trying to follow the line of the embossing and not the actual paper here, but I do want it to be straight. So let's do this. And, okay, now, here. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. And then these little guys could go here. And I know that I already glued that down, but I might, let me see if I have something that I can cut this out with. I wasn't thinking. Oh, I might have a square die. Do I have a square? Do I have a square? I might have a square, just don't know where. La 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 la. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's try this. Let's try it. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Oh, if this works, it's gonna be perfect. So let's give it a try. I've got stuff all over the place. All right, let's do this without moving the camera. And so just to let you guys know, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Craft Stash online store. I know that more than likely Regina is, because oh, cool. The glacier paste. Yeah, I bet that looked beautiful. So because of being a UK customer, but right now they're rolling out their VIP, customer VIP program. And if you're curious, you can go ahead and click on one of my links and look at what it is. But to give you a really quick rundown, you pay $10 a year and you get VIP access to certain types of like tutorials, faster shipping, and sales that are coming up, things like that. Look at this. I mean, are you kidding me? How cute is that? So if that is something of interest to you, then go ahead and check them out. What they'll also do is give you an alert and let you know what's gone on sale. For instance, I got one, I think it was 2 weeks ago on Friday or something like that. And it was like just random crafty items that had gone on like a clearance sale, I would say. So that was kind of cool. I'm going to cut this down because, how big is this? This is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to make this 6. ish. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller because I wasn't digging that top line there, but I really like how cute that is. And it may fit. Oh, I don't know if it's too big for this. I just need it. No, it isn't. Yay! So I'm going to just use this background because I have it ready made. And it's still crooked, and I'm supposing it's because of the whole 3D thing. It warped the paper, so I kind of have to be careful with that because it didn't give me a straight line. But then again, it could have just been the way I cut the paper. So I may want to stop blaming the paper for my problems. Let's see here. Okay, so that's going to fit perfectly there. And there's that. And Regina was just mentioning glacier paste. So Craft Stash, yes, Craft Stash is just a craft store, online store. It's similar to scrapbook.com, where they have all different kinds of brands. And yeah, I guess that's all I could say about that. They have all different kinds of brands, and it's a lot of fun. You can be introduced to new brands you may have never seen and all that good stuff. Now, I have some paste. Let me see if I want to do which color. I just don't know if I have the right color because I have this one, and this is called Frosted Birch. I don't know if it's gonna, well, let's just find out. I guess it's new. Can't even open it. Let's see. Frosted Birch. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to be too white, but I guess we'll find out. And I think I want to use a small brush. I don't think I want to use, because I have this, but I don't think I want to use it for that. Let's see here. Choices. I think this is, oh, I don't know what got on there, but my issue, guys, is that I use the same tools over and over again because I'm not even like really paying attention to which tool I picked up necessarily. And I cross-contaminate my stuff. All right, so this is kind of like a mousse, but it's glittery and it's got pigment. If you're not familiar with the glacier paste from Tonic Nuvo. But it's kind of like glitter without the mess, even though I made a very big mess on this earlier. But let's see if we can add it to at least the edges here. Oh yeah, baby. I'm digging this. Because then, oh, this is perfect. Thank you, Regina. Thank you so very much. This is exactly what I needed. This is so much better than Ranger. Sorry, Ranger, not sorry. You can keep your tinsel. I'm liking my Nuvo. I'm yelling, and I think my husband was trying to rest. Poor guy. Oh, but we Latin people tend to get excited. Let's see here. So I'm just going to do that perimeter because obviously the rest is going to get kind of covered up anyway. But this is awesome. It's so shiny and pretty. And this does come in different colors. I just didn't grab the other colors that I have because they're kind of bright. No, I do not. I don't open them right away because they've dried up on me in the past. So unless I have a project in mind, they stay shut because I don't want that to happen. Oh, I so want to just do this on here and see what happens. But I don't want to ruin it either. It's just going to give it like the leftover glimmer. I'm putting it right on there. It is what it is. But dun, dun. Because another thing is I wanted to be careful, and here's why. This is water based, because it was watercolor pencil. This is water based also. So whenever you're adding water to water, you already know you're gonna, you know, potentially spread the color around. So that's why I was being kind of hesitant to do that. It's time to glue this puppy down though. I am really happy with this card. I didn't see that coming at all, but see, this is why it's fun to experiment. And thank you, Regina, for the glacier paste, because it was staring right at me. You think I was going to pick it up? No, I wasn't. Sitting here struggling instead. And of course you could add a little ribbon to this and yada yada, but I'm going to refrain from adding bulk, because if I end up sending this as part of the card drive that I may or may not participate in this year, I don't know yet, guys, then I don't want bulky cards. I'm just going to make them super straightforward and, you know, put them all in a box and send them out. And this does also have its texture because it's watercolor paper. So I think that's heavy enough for a card. Yeah, glacier paste is just, oh, it's like you want to wear it as makeup. You want to put it in your hair. Once you start using it, it's like, yes, add it to all the things. It's fun. Okay, I see a little, oh yeah, that was a piece of that little mica there. And you know what? One more little thing I want to do to this, because I don't want to add bulk, that doesn't mean that it has to remain without embellishment, right? Even though we did the color. I've got some sequins candy hearts here, and these little guys have hearts, so this is going to be a little bit hard to glue, but I'm going to try again. And it's because of the type of paper that I've used. Again, it might very well be photo paper. Okay, but what I want to do now is I'm going to use some glaze that I have. And you can use any adhesive that dries clear, but I happen to have some glaze here. And I'm just going to go like up here and create like a little swatch or swoosh or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to spread that out a little bit there. Clean the rest off, obviously. Grab my little messy paper again. I kid myself. There's glitter all over this house. There's no denying that. Okay, so we're going to go in with the little heart confetti sequins, or whatever you call these things, again from Tonic Nuvo. And this is going to kind of pick up some of these colors because of the fact that they're a little on the holographic side, even though they're super bright pink. But what I wanted to do is have them kind of land there haphazardly. And I feel excited that I got to use the word haphazardly because I never get to say that. But I'm going to do the same thing down here. And oh, I'm so happy with this card. I'm going to do the same thing, woohoo, down here. And it's like they're leaking love. There's love leakage going on this card, but I love it. Or bursting, that's the word. Bursting with love. Okay. And you can use, what's the name of that stuff? Ranger matte medium or gloss medium, whatever. You can use that as an adhesive. You can use glossy accents as an adhesive. So if you have those mediums, go ahead and go cray-cray with your little sequins because it's going to look cute. And that is it. This has been a long video, longer than I anticipated anyway. But oh yeah, for sure, Bonnie. That's going to be a lot of fun to play with. I can't wait to see what that other one looks like. Um, this one in particular, this is called the Abstract Flowers. I'm thinking for Mother's Day, that's going to be perfect. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Leave me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the haphazardness of my video making today. My little project, and I'm gonna get back on my little soapbox that I have over here because I'm little, so that way I can see through the camera. But there's the little hearts, the shine of the glacier paste, the heat embossing, the texture of the watercolor pencils, the mediocre ranger tinsel that we don't like, that wasn't worth it. But that's okay. It didn't break the bank. It was like $3 and change. And that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm gonna leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments if you rewatch the video. If you're new here, I encourage you to subscribe. You'll find a very happy, crafty family here, and all are welcome. And as I always say, hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And thank you for putting up with my shenanigans. It's all worth it. All of it.
Save that money.
My husband said, save that money. Save that money, honey. Shop on sale, clearance aisle, anywhere. It doesn't matter. Have fun, guys. Oh, and don't forget, go to Craft Stash. Guys, I forgot to mention, there's a giveaway. So go to their blog tab. Click on the My Craft Stash link below the video. Go to their blog tab, and there's an open giveaway. It's going to close, I think, on the 20-something of February. I can't remember. But go ahead and take advantage. You may win some goodies. There's also coupon codes in the description bar of almost every one of my videos. If you don't know what they are, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to share them with you. Right now, also, BB Craft has a sale this weekend that you may want to take advantage of. Yeah, a lot of sales all over the place. So have fun shopping. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. God bless you.